Welcome to Darkhaper's Blender Tutorials. This is episode 1, an introduction to Blender. So the first thing we're going to look at is the layout. In the center of your screen should be the scene. This is where all of the 3D modeling will be occurring. On the left side of the screen is your creation menu, and down the bottom are icons that inform you about different effects that are happening on your mesh. So the first thing we're going to do is just add some movement controls. So if you hold down the middle mouse button and drag from left to right, up or down, you will rotate around the scene, like so. If you hold shift and hold middle mouse button and drag, you will move left and right, up and down along a single axis. So instead of rotating, you will move on one plane, like so. If you scroll forwards with the middle mouse wheel, you will zoom in. If you scroll back with the middle mouse wheel, you will zoom out. So just to clarify again, hold down the middle mouse button and drag to rotate. Hold shift and middle mouse button to move from side to side. And scroll forward and back on the middle mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Okay, so on the left here we have our creation menus. The two we're going to be paying attention to are Tools and the Creation menu. The Tools will be used later to edit the mesh, and the Creation menu creates objects. So let's just zoom in on the cube. If it's already selected, it'll be glowing in orange. If it isn't, you just right click on the cube and it will go orange. We'll press delete on our keyboard, and then this little pop-up will appear. You're just going to left click over the little blue delete icon, and that will delete that cube. Now by clicking any of these shapes, they will be created in the scene. For example, if I press cylinder, a base cylinder will appear in the scene. The same with cubes, cones, and circles. So, with the object selected, if it's not selected, right click to select it. These arrows should appear. If these arrows haven't appeared, all you have to do is press G. If the arrows are already appeared and you press G, you will just be able to move the object freely. It's left click to place it back down. So these are your movement tools, your movement gizmo. If you left click any of the three arrows and drag, so click and hold left click and drag on an arrow, it will move along that axis. So we're going to just left click and hold the blue arrow, it'll go up and down. The green arrow, left click and hold, forward and back. The direction of which the arrows are pointing are the direction in which the object will go. If you just click the mesh without clicking the arrows, in the center, you'll be able to move it freely. Let go of left click to place it. So again, left click the arrows, to move it along the axes, and then you let go of left click to place. If you press R on the keyboard, this little icon will appear here. If you don't click anything else and just drag, you will rotate the object freely in any direction. However, if you press any of the access keys, which are Z, X, or Y, they will only rotate on that axis. For example, if I press Z, you can see there's a blue line going down the center. The line indicates how the object will rotate around it. So as it's in the center here, it will rotate around that axis. If I press X, you see the line is now in the center of the side, and it will rotate around that point. And then it's left click to finish. Finally, if we press S on the keyboard, another icon will appear. If we move the black arrows towards the dot, the object will scale smaller. If we move them away from the dot, the object will scale larger. If you haven't clicked anything, this should be scaling uniformly. However, if you press any of the access keys, Z, X, or Y, it'll only scale on that axis. That is the end of episode 1. Thank you for listening.